Assalamu alaikum. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you the exact system that has helped dozens of brothers in our community land their first $3,000 to $10,000 deal working just 1 hour per day. I'm going to share everything with you so you can start your agency without buying my course. And the nice thing is that you can follow the system outside of your day job, so you don't need to take any stupid risks. It's completely halal. Let's begin. Bismillah. The first step before we start on your AI business, we need to break down some of the wrong beliefs that you have. Should you really target local businesses to make money? Does it take months to land your first client? Do you need to be an AI expert to sell these solutions? Let me clear all of that for you. One of the biggest mistakes that keep brothers trapped in their 9 to 5 is that they target small businesses that have no budgets. Everyone thinks I'm gonna build a chatbot for a restaurant. Brother, like restaurants, they have very small margins. They have like a 35% margin. They're not gonna pay $5,000 when they can barely afford rent. You're competing against their nephew who knows computers and charges $200. That's true for a lot of small local businesses. You're gonna waste months chasing them. You're not gonna be able to exit the 9 to 5. You're not gonna make any money. You'll still have to work at your job. Your wife will be forced to work because you're not earning enough. You're not gonna be able to buy a house without taking a loan. You're not gonna be able to do Hajj. You're not gonna be able to do Hijrah. Essentially, you're still gonna be stuck. But here's the thing. There is actually a lot of money to be made in AI automation. And I know you might believe that, okay, the only people making money are like the course sellers online who are making money from talking about AI, but that's not true. History repeats itself, and you can just see the patterns. Look in the early 2000s when the internet came out. Businesses were paying a lot of money to web design agencies to create a website for them. Later, the same businesses, when social media came out, they were paying teenagers or social media agencies to run their social media and pay ads. Now, those exact same businesses, again, they pay AI agencies to build their AI systems, make them more productive, being able to make the business more efficient and more competitive. It's the same exact businesses. It's all a cycle that repeats itself. The money is there. Trust me, in a few years from now, you're gonna be looking back at this time era and you're gonna think, man, a lot of people made a lot of money and I was not one of them. And I hope this doesn't happen to you. When things change in the market, there is always money to be made. And it's better that you're the one who grabs that money than someone else, because at least you can benefit Yuma, you can do something good. The other person, we don't know what they're gonna do. So what is the sweet spot? I recommend you target mid-market businesses. They understand the ROI and they have clear business metrics. One example of a niche that I like is law firms, those that have between 5 and 50 employees. They already use case management software, they have billable hours, which makes it perfect for return investment calculations. So we can show them how much money we can save them essentially. We can implement some document automation for them, which saves them a lot of time. And they have high hourly rates, which justify high automation costs. I'm gonna give you one example from one of our members in the incubator. He built a document automation for a Canadian law firm. It was a $10,500 project. He was able to save them 80 hours of work every single month with his automation. For the client, the return on investment was close to $100,000 a year. So obviously, if you understand the return on investment, if you're able to show it to a client and you know that you can save them $100,000 a year, the $10,000 investment for them to pay you to build that automation, all of a sudden, it doesn't seem very unreasonable. Right? The nice thing as well is that this brother, he did all this project outside of his day job, working on the weekends, evenings, and he was able to complete it within a month. So it was a pretty nice extra income he made that month. If you want to learn how to do this and land those types of deals, click on the first link in the description. Another example of a good niche to target is real estate agencies. For them, lead follow-up is critical and is measurable, which is very important for us for the ROI, right? They also have a commission-based model, which again, it's high ROI for lead conversion. So anytime you can do something that either helps them get a lead or close a lead or nurture or something like that, it's high return on investment for them. So it's gonna be interesting. We're actually working on a client like this right now. It's a $10,000 deal that we completed for them to build a custom app that they're using in their sales process and within their company. And now we're in the process of negotiating the second part of this contract, which is gonna be a $17,000 deal. Every business is very simple at its core. They either wanna be able to make more money or they wanna save more money. Your job is to figure out how you can help them with either one of those jobs. I'm gonna show you now the exact system that members in our community are using to land those types of deals. So week 0, this is level 0. At the very beginning, the first thing you have to do is that you have to put your trust in Allah. We are Muslims, right? You have good intentions. You want to build a good halal business. You know that nothing can happen if you don't have Allah by your side. Like, it doesn't matter, even if you ask me, like, I cannot help you. There's nothing that I can do for you if Allah doesn't want to help you. There's nothing that anyone on earth actually can do to help your business if Allah doesn't want you to succeed. Trust me, sometimes you do everything right. You use all the systems, the roadmaps, you follow everything that you're supposed to do, and you still don't get results. And sometimes the opposite. You do things wrong. You don't have optimized processes and you still are successful. You see people, they just land clients. It's as if clients just fall on them. That's the blessing that Allah gives to some people. So the first thing is you want to increase those blessings. And it all starts with the 5 prayers. If you don't do the 5 prayers, you cannot expect to get any results. It's obvious, right? And especially Fajr. You want to make sure you do all 5 prayers on time. And with the prayers directly connected to them are du'as. Right? You want to make sure that you actually ask Allah for help. You ask Allah to bless you and to bless your business. But try to make du'as that are a little bit more specific. Instead of just asking for success, you can be more specific and ask for what you want and the reason why you want it, like the grand purpose. So for example, if you want $10,000 a month of business, don't just ask for $10,000 a month business. Ask to get that, to reach that level so that you can quit your job, you can provide for a family, you can pray on time, you can practice your deen better, you can do hajj, you can buy a house without using a loan, you can provide for your parents, etc, etc. This makes the du'as more specific and it makes them stronger. And you have a chance, every single prayer you do, if you do at least 5 prayers a day, every prayer is a chance to ask that du'a. So this means that multiple times a day, you can ask Allah to help you with your business to reach your goals. Surely this is going to help. Imagine you do this for a week. Imagine you do this for a month, for multiple months, for a year. That's thousands of du'as that you have made. Obviously, it's going to have an impact on your life, on your business, on your affairs. Next, once you have that in place, we're starting with week 1. This is the real roadmap where we're getting into the business work, actually. It starts with the market research. So in week 1, what you're going to do is that you're going to pick a business, law firms, real estate agencies, doctors, but you want to essentially pick a business and you want to analyze their processes. You want to find 2-3 tasks that you can automate or 3 critical points. To find that, you can look at Reddit communities. Like if you target law firms, go in the law firm Reddit community and see what people are talking about. Go on school as well. You can go in specific niche communities on school. You can go in AI communities in school as well. This is a little hack for you. Find AI communities on school. Like the number 1 community is the one from Liam Otley. Now it has over 100,000 people there. Join it. It's free. Go in the wins tab. And in the wins tab, you'll see all the different people who are selling AI right now and they talk about their wins. See what they're selling. Check the comments, check the posts, see what they're doing. This is going to give you ideas of things that you could sell, things that are actually working. You can also ask ChatGPT. I'll be honest, it's not bad. Like I've been using it lately to analyze some markets. The results it gives you are pretty on point. So that's also something that you can use. Once you have identified that, you move to the next level. Week 2 to 4, you're going to spend it on building relationships. So the goal is not to sell anything. You just want to build relationships because those relationships are going to help you land clients. So you want to go over your entire network. You want to find everyone that you know who are either business owners or people who are well connected. And you want to see if those guys can introduce you to other people. You want to go to local business events inside of your city because business owners attend it, right? You want to connect with business owners on LinkedIn and offer free audits for them, like free AI audits. The goal is to build genuine relationships during the 2-3 weeks because those guys will either be able to become your clients or refer you to other people who will be your clients. You also have one advantage as a Muslim because you can target Muslim businesses, right? You can go to the masjid. In the masjid, business owners, they attend as well. They are part of the community, right? So you can try to find businesses like that. And usually, I'll tell you one thing, business owners who are on the deen, they like to work with Muslims. They have a preference for Muslims. When I was starting my AI agency, the very first client I had was a Muslim business owner. He was paying us $5,000 a month for our services. And that's what helped kickstart the business, and we were able to get more clients after that. Once you have done the relationship building, we're going to move to week 5. That's the process breakdown. Here, the goal is that the relationships that you have created, you want to sit down with those business owners that you have, and you want to break down their processes. So you want to know what they're spending time on, what are the critical touch points, how many hours they're wasting on those tasks, what are the things that are the bottlenecks, how many people are affected by this. You want to ask them all the different questions so that you're able to come up with an accurate, good proposal for them. You want to specifically look for tasks that are repeatable, that are predictable, those that are very time consuming, those that are very critical, those that are a scalability bottleneck. Those as well that are error prone, right? Where it's easy to make mistakes when you do it manually. You want to kind of check on all those different tasks. You collect all of that information and then you go to week 6, and the goal here is to present them a proposal. You want to show them how AI can benefit their business with a clear return on investment. So based on the questions you asked in the past on how many hours they're spending on tasks, how many people are affected, all those different things, is going to show you a pretty good picture of what is the cost associated right now for the business for this problem that they have. And if you can automate and solve this problem for them, you know how much money you're saving them. So you want to really show them this. You want to show them the result of this analysis that you have made of how much money you can save them. And at that moment, if you show them the potential savings, the revenue impact, how much time it's going to take to implement, then you can have a very interesting discussion. Because if you show them that you can save them like $100,000 per year with the work that you're going to do, charging $10,000 becomes pretty realistic at this stage, right? So here you don't want to think about time. Don't tell them, oh, it's going to take me this amount of time to build, so as a consequence, I'm going to charge this much. No, you think about the business value that you provide. If the business value is big, your price is going to be big. That's the whole goal. We want to have a value-based pricing. At the beginning though, I recommend you start with smaller automations, with smaller AI solutions, and then you slowly scale it over time with the client because you want to build trust initially. And as you build trust, you'll be able to go to the next phase, which is scaling. Every single project that you get, you want to try to extract that into a case study, into testimonials that you can use to land more clients. You want to make your clients satisfied so that they can give you a referral. You also want to try to templatize your work so that you can go faster on the next clients you get, right? If you're used to working with law firms, you want to templatize the process that you do so that the next law firm you get, it takes you only half the time. And the third law firm you get is going to take you even less time. And that's how you can start scaling and having a very profitable business. And when things scale and are repeatable, you can also hire developers. Those developers can handle the work for you, which essentially is going to outsource a lot of the heavy burden of development. And you can hire developers at an affordable rate, like find developers in Arab countries, in Egypt, in the Middle East, in Pakistan, in Eastern Europe. Those guys, they can take the $10,000 project that you got and they can do it for $2,000. So you pay them $2,000 once the client pays you, like you gave them their share, and you still make $8,000 profit. So free, obviously, it's very advantageous, and you're not gonna have to handle all the developments, staying up to date with those AIs and things like this. It's gonna save you a lot of time. We are right now in the exact same point as the internet was in the early 2000s, or social media was in like 2010s. Most businesses know they need AI, but they don't know how to implement it. The industry is changing so fast that they cannot keep up. They're not in tech, they're not involved in this. They don't know what to do, but they know that they have a lot of processes needed to automate. They know that their competitors are using those things, that they're going to win over time. So they're worried about that. They have a fear of missing out. And literally, this is the moment to get in, right? Like competition is rising, but it's still low because the demand is so high. This is your opportunity. This is your moment to get in. But you just have to avoid the common pitfalls. Don't target broke small businesses. Don't try to enter regulated industries without expertise. Don't try to compete on price. Don't promise unrealistic timelines, and don't try to automate everything at once. But do focus on mid-market businesses that have budgets, those that can really pay you. Solve specific and measurable problems. Price based on the value that you deliver, not based on the number of hours. Do under-promise and over-deliver. And do try to build long-term relationships. All right, now that you understand the foundation, let's get you clients fast. I'm gonna show you the 5-minute hack to land clients that no one is talking about. Assalamu alaikum. In the next 5 minutes, I'm going to show you how to land your first client for your AI agency as a complete beginner in less than 1 month. I've helped beginners in our private community land over $100,000 of deals in just the past few months alone. There's 3 tools that we're going to need to use for this, but most of the process is completely automated actually. So even if you don't know anything, don't worry about it. I call this strategy the Codebender lead magnet system. The way it works is simple. We're going to head over to Claude, which is like a ChatGPT competitor. We're going to use it to generate a bunch of automations for us. We're then going to use those automations, which is a JSON file. We're going to import it into n8n, which is an automation tool. We're going to have those automations, and then we're going to share them as lead magnets into LinkedIn to attract business owners who need those automations for their businesses. So this is how the strategy works. Step number 1, first, Bismillah, we're going to head over to Claude and we're going to ask it to generate a list of the 10 most popular niches that business owners are in where they need automations. We're going to then ask Claude to give us a list of 10 ideas of the most popular automations that we can do for businesses that are within that niche. We want a complete AI system, not just like a small little automation, because we're trying to solve a real problem for the business, because we want to attract business owners on LinkedIn and want to get their email or want to get them to reach out to us. So it needs to be valuable. Once Claude has generated this list of 10 automation ideas, we're going to ask it to turn those automations into JSON files that we can import into n8n. This step is very, very important. After we get these JSON files, we're going to import them into n8n, and then we're going to take a screenshot of that automation. You'll see why the screenshot is important in just a bit. Of course, we also need to verify that the automation actually works, because this is going to be the lead magnet that we're going to be offering to business owners. Step number 2, we head over to LinkedIn to give away our automations for free in a very specific way. Here, however, if your LinkedIn profile is empty, you first have to make sure your profile looks legit, it looks professional, and you have at least 100 connections. This is very important. Only do this strategy after you have polished your LinkedIn profile. Each post that you make has to follow the specific conversion formula that we have. First, it needs to have a hook, which is a sentence that's going to attract business owners, it's going to be relevant for them, it's going to make them want to see more of what the post is about. It needs to have a body which explains what the automation is, why it's useful. And then it needs to have a call to action. And the call to action is always the same. You ask them to comment a specific keyword in order for them to get access to that automation via DMs. So they're going to comment a keyword on LinkedIn and then you're going to reach out to them by DMs. It's just very important that you tell them that they have to connect with you first, because if you're not connecting together on LinkedIn, you're not going to be able to DM them. That's all. In terms of the text on the post, that's the only thing you need. The last element that you need on the post is the image. This is the screenshot that we took of the automation on N10. That's what you're going to use as the image of your post. Here are some examples of what this looks like. So you see, it's always the same. There's a hook as the first sentence, there's a body that describes the value of this automation, and then there's a CT at the end that asks you to comment in order to get access to the automation. And of course, every time the post has an image, which is basically a display of the value of what you're gonna get. And look at the engagement that these posts get. It's literally hundreds or thousands of comments that they receive on accounts that are not big. Step number 3, you wanna repeat this process. At the beginning, you remember Claude generated 10 different automations for us. We only posted one. So we want to do this 10 times to get 10 different posts. You want to schedule those posts to be one post a day from Monday to Friday. So 10 posts from Monday to Friday is basically 2 weeks worth of content that you have just generated in less than an hour. Step number 4, we're going to DM all the leads who commented on our posts. So we're going to check every post that we have. We're going to check the comments. We're going to see if we're connected to the person. We open their profile. We send them a DM. We share the automation from the post. And then if this person looks like they're a qualified lead, so qualified lead is typically a business owner that has a business where you can provide them some value and they have money to pay for your services. In my case, for example, for my AI agency, we look at businesses that make at least $1 million per year because we want to charge them at least $10,000 for the projects. So for them to afford it, from our experience, they need to make at least 10 times more than this per month. If we want to charge them 10K a month, they need to make at least 100K a month. That's kind of like the estimation that we do for our business. So for us, that's what will constitute a qualified lead. If the lead is qualified, you want to engage in a discussion via DMs and try to get them on a call to understand more of their situation, their problem, and see how you could help. Obviously, from the moment they join the call, they enter your sales funnel where you're going to ask them questions, understand their situation, and then you're going to try to make them a proposal for a bigger, more complex project that you're going to try to sell them. Do this for all the 10 posts that you have, and then once the posts are finished, we go to step 5, which is the optimization phase. You're going to look at the data that you have from the 10 different posts that you have made. Look into which automation was the most popular and the most successful. Most successful means that it brought you the highest amount of qualified leads. So it's not just the highest amount of comments, because some posts will have a lot of comments, but those comments are trash, right? Those comments come from people who are not qualified leads for a business, so it's going to be a waste of time. You want to specifically look into which post and which automation brought you the highest volume of qualified leads. Once you have that one, you're going to take it, don't change the automation at all, just change the way you post it, change the copy of the post, which means the text. So you're going to change the hook, you're going to change the body, you're going to change the call to action, potentially change the image. So you just want to repackage it. From that one post, you want to create 5 others. So this means that you have 1 more week of content now. This will amplify your reach without much extra effort. This whole process that I described to you now, you can do it in just a few hours. This should give you at least 100 qualified leads. And from those, you only need to land 1 client to make $5,000 to $10,000. Remember, the goal is to attract business owners by gifting them something for free, something that is valuable, just giving them free value, and then entering them into your sales funnel. That's the goal. And the way we do it is we leverage the glitch that currently exists on LinkedIn, that if one person comments on a post, it's going to show it to part of their network, which is also going to comment in return, and is going to naturally boost your post. This works across a wide variety of accounts, even accounts that are very small. The 5-minute hack that we talked about is nice, but it's actually not the best way to land clients. There is another strategy that you can start today, and it will get you clients within 7 days. Let me show you. If someone put a gun on my head and told me you have to land a client within 7 days from scratch or you're done, you cannot use your YouTube audience, you don't have budgets for paid ads, you cannot use cold email, you literally have to start from scratch, this is what I would do. This is also the exact same method that I used to help my student Ziad in our incubator program land his first $11,000 project when he just started his AI agency. By the end of this video, you'll have the fastest path to land your first client for your AI agency. Step 1, I want you to spend the first 1 or 2 days to audit your entire network. But I don't have a network. Stop, brother, and listen. You're sitting on gold and you don't even realize it. Your network is part of the risk that Allah has blessed you with. The people that you know that have been put in your life, Maybe there is a reason for it. Most people, when they think about client acquisition, they think about paid ads, cold outreach, emails, webinars, Reddit, LinkedIn DMs, YouTube. I've tried everything, brother, and here's the truth. They all work, but it's not easy. Everyone is competing for the same eyeballs trying to get attention. But we live in the attention economy. Attention is very hard to get. It's very competitive. You need to become very good. We trust people on YouTube less and less. We don't trust it when we receive an email from a stranger. So it's very hard to capture people's attention. So instead, why don't you use an asset that you already have that already has trust built in? This is the most effective strategy, but brothers make one big mistake and it ruins everything. The money is actually not in your network. It's not in the people you know. It's in your second degree connections. That's where the money is. You see, every person that you know knows other people. If you know one business owner and this business owner knows 10 other business owners, your actual second degree connection, if you count everything, it's 11. You actually have access to 11 business owners who could potentially become your clients. And the money usually is not in that one business owner that you know. The money is in the 10 other ones that he knows. And I'm going to show you here how to leverage that. This is what most people miss. The goal here is not to compete on attention. The goal is to leverage trust to get connections faster. A typical reply rate, like I said, for a cold email is going to be like 1 to 2%. If you go from a warm connection, it can be like 80%. It's a completely different discussion, right? Like you're basically trying to leverage people who can help you get into those opportunities. That's why the very first thing you have to do in this strategy is that you have to audit your entire network. You have to check every place that you're present, all the connections that you have. So all the connections on LinkedIn, all the connections on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, all the communities that you're part of, all the WhatsApp groups, the Telegram groups, your local masjid, everyone that you have access to, your phone contacts. You want to have a full visibility on all those people. Then we're going to go into step 2. We're going to create 2 lists. List A is going to be all the business owners that you know. List B is going to be all the connectors, the multipliers. It's people who are not business owners themselves, but they know business owners. They're well connected in the space and they can give you recommendations and they can give you referrals. These are the guys that can introduce you to other business owners. They're very, very valuable. List A is essentially your direct targets. That's the people who could become your clients. List B are indirect contacts. That's the people who can bring you more clients. Most people in general, they focus on list A and they completely disregard list B. This is the biggest mistake because list B is the one that is going to give us the most money. That's because you will realize that most likely list B is way longer than the first list you have. The list of the people who are multipliers and connectors, they are way more of those. And those guys, every contact you have there, it can give you from 1 to 5 connections. So you can multiply this list by 5 potentially. Once you have the list, you go to step 3, it's the outreach. The goal of the DM is to get them on a call. That's what you're trying to do. Ultimately, you want to get on a call with all those people. You want to have like roughly a 30-minute call where you're going to ask them questions. I'm going to tell you what to ask exactly. You're not trying to sell anything at this stage. You just want to reconnect with them. You let them know that you're in the AI space. You send them a DM, something like, Assalamu alaikum, brother. I hope you're doing well. I've been exploring this AI space within the past few months. I've been doing like X, Y, and Z. I'm just curious to know how your business is doing. I'd love to catch up. Like, how are you? Just send something like this, exchange a few DMs, and then send them a link to a calendar booking to try to catch up and jump on a call. That's the ultimate goal. You really want to get on a call with them. But you're going to have 2 different approaches on the calls. If you speak to business owners, obviously the goal is to get them to be a potential client, right? You're evaluating if they could be a client for you. When you talk to multipliers, the goal is to get them to introduce you to other people. Once you have actually scheduled the call, we go to step number 4. We call that actually the discover call. So the very first call you're going to have with them is called the discover call. It's a call where you're just going to be asking a ton of different questions. The goal is really to understand what their business is, what are their operations, what they're stuck on, what are the bottlenecks, what are things they waste time on, what are things that are critical for the business that you could potentially automate or that you could propose later on. You're not trying to sell anything. Remember, this is just like a catch-up call, right? You're not in a sales mode at all. You're more in a detective investigation type mode. So when you talk to business owners, you want to really figure out what they do, what are the bottlenecks, what are the limitations, so that later on you can make a proposal for them. Like behind our head, this is what we're thinking. We're asking questions that we can make a proposal. And at the end of the call, you also want to make them understand that you are in the AI space, right? You want to mention here and there some insights. So before the call, make sure you read about this industry that the business owner is in. Think about some automations that you can propose to them and kind of show them by using some of the popular keywords, some of the popular AI tools that the business owner thinks that, okay, you're an expert. Like, you know what you talk about, you could potentially benefit him. And when you reach the end of the call, you want to schedule a next call after that so you can show them a proposal. So at the end you say something like, this is super interesting. I think that honestly, like, there's a lot of things you can automate and you probably don't realize how much money you're leaving on the table. So you say that to the business owner. And I could propose you some solutions if you want. Like there's a lot of things that I've been exploring. I can make you like a proposal. I can show you maybe even potentially a demo. I can explain like how the system would work. If you're down, let's schedule another call like a few days from now, and I can show you all of this. Obviously, the business owner is going to be interested. They don't have to pay anything. They're not committed to anything. But it's super important that you actually schedule the call at the end of the first one, because if you don't schedule the call there, you can very easily lose them. So always at the end of the first call, you ask them, let's say it's a Monday now, ask to get a call on Thursday or Friday. So you have a few days to prepare the proposal, and then end of the week, you have the next call and you can pitch the solution to them. And then you can try to get them as a client. Now, obviously, if you're speaking to list B, so list B is the multipliers, the conversation is different. The goal of the conversation is not to evaluate if this guy can be a client, because he's not going to become a client. He's not a business owner. The goal is to get them to introduce you to someone else. So the conversation is going to be a quick catch up. You ask what they're doing. You mention what you're up to. You kind of want to share some of the things you're working on. Maybe if you have built some demos, maybe you've been reading about some articles. You want to show that you are in the AI space now, that you're interested in this space, that you can deliver some value there. And then you want to ask the multiplier, so this person in the call, you want to ask them if they know other business owners. If they know business owners who could potentially benefit from AI. That's question number one you ask them. I'll tell you directly, most people, they're going to say no. They're going to think a little bit and they're going to be like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I'll let you know if I think of anyone. Or if someone comes my way, I'll let you know. Which means they won't let you know. You're not going to benefit from this. That's why we ask a second question after. We go more specific. If you know you want to work with a certain niche, you want to work with doctors, for example, we ask the person, like, do you know some doctors who have their own practice? Here, because he already answered no in the first question, he's going to feel bad. He's going to try to make a bigger effort for the second question, right? He's going to try to think deeper and be like, okay, actually, maybe I know someone. And most likely they're going to know, right? When you ask for a specific niche, there's more chances that they actually know, because either he knows a doctor directly, or maybe he has a cousin who is in medical school, or he has an uncle, or he knows a friend whose dad is a doctor who has his own practice, etc., etc., right? Like, he's going to try to think a little bit more. He's going to be able to narrow it down. He's going to be able to give you at least one contact. The goal of those conversations, like the real goal you have to set in your head, is as soon as you jump on any of those calls with multipliers, every guy that you speak with, they should give you at least 1 to 3 extra contacts. 1 to 3. That's your mindset. So every time you speak to those people, try to ask them enough questions that they give you at least 1 to 3 extra connections. Either it's business owners, either it's other multipliers, right? They can give you access to some community leader who knows a lot of people. That's also can be valuable. Right? You just never want to end the call with 0 connections given. You always want to go use this person as a bridge to get to something else. That's the objective here. One warm introduction is worth more than 100 cold emails. Always remember this. If you follow this strategy, your network will literally multiply with every conversation that you have. And remember, the people in your network, Allah has put them there. Allah has put them around your vicinity. And maybe there is a reason for it. Maybe it's part of the blessing that Allah has given you. And you have to leverage this. It's kind of like a lemon that you can squeeze. You want to make sure you squeeze to the maximum. You extract all the blessings that you have that you can get from this. You don't want to just throw. It's kind of like throwing food that Allah has just given you. If you do this, this is the fastest path to land a client. You guys watching this, you're sitting on your chair, you're watching this video, you're like, I'm not sure I can do this or not. Trust me, inshallah, within the next 30 days, if you follow this strategy, you can land your first client and kick off your agency. Because remember, an agency with no clients, it means that you're just a guy on YouTube watching tutorials. As soon as you land your first client, you have a business. That's how it works. Every step that I just gave you, you can do this outside of your day job. You don't need to quit your job. You don't need to go full-time on this. You don't need the budget. Just 1 to 2 hours daily, and you can make this work. You just need to start and trust Allah with the results. You trust Allah, you tie a camel, and then you move forward. This is just the beginning. After you land your first client, there's so many other ways to scale. If you want me and my team to help you scale your side business, to actually partner with you on your first deals to make sure that you're successful, click the first link in the description, thecodebender.com. We guarantee that you'll make money, otherwise we refund you. And if you think I'm a scam, just check these brothers in our community. Ziad landed a $2,000 a month deal in just 1 month of starting. Jose did it in just 15 days. He landed a 2,500 euros per month client. After that, he was able to land a few more clients and he quit his job after only 2 months. Yannick landed a $10,000 deal working for a local law firm in just 2 months. My mission is to help create 1,000 Muslim-led AI businesses over the next 3 years. It begins now. Thank you for watching and assalamu alaikum.